If you ever find an abandoned house with every window boarded shut, but one upstairs window left completely uncovered, don't look inside, because sometimes something inside is looking back. In 2017, a man named Nathan Cole worked for a company that inspected abandoned properties before demolition. Most of the houses were exactly what you'd expect: rotting floors, broken pipes, animal nests, occasionally squatters. Nothing unusual, nothing supernatural. Nathan didn't believe in ghost stories. His job was literally entering places people were afraid to enter, and after hundreds of abandoned houses, fear stopped feeling useful. That changed in October. A county contractor hired Nathan's company to inspect a property outside a small town in Ohio. The address sat at the end of Briar Road, a road locals rarely used anymore. The property had been abandoned since the early 1990s. Nobody had lived there in nearly 30 years, at least officially. The drive out felt strange immediately. The farther Nathan drove, the fewer houses he saw. Eventually the paved road became gravel, then dirt, then little more than tire tracks cutting through dense woods. His GPS stopped updating, cell service disappeared, and the woods seemed unnaturally quiet. No birds, no insects, nothing. Then he saw the house. It stood at the end of a dead road, 3 stories tall, dark, decaying, surrounded by dead trees. Most of the windows were boarded, except one, the upstairs bedroom window, completely uncovered. Nathan parked and stared at it. Something about that single window bothered him. It felt intentional, like someone wanted that view unobstructed. Still, it was just a house. So he grabbed his flashlight and clipboard and headed inside. The front door hung open. The smell hit him immediately. Mold, rotting wood, dampness, but beneath it, something else. A faint smell he couldn't identify. Sweet, almost chemical. The interior looked untouched. Dust covered everything. Furniture remained exactly where it had been left decades earlier. A television, family photographs, children's toys, as though the occupants had vanished suddenly. Nathan began documenting rooms, kitchen, dining room, living room, everything normal, until he reached the staircase. At the bottom of the stairs sat a chair, facing upward, not toward the living room, not toward the front door, just staring at the second floor. Nathan frowned. Someone had placed it there deliberately, but why? The second floor felt colder, much colder. Every room sat empty, except one, the room beneath the uncovered window. The bedroom door stood partially open. Nathan pushed it wider and immediately stopped. The room was spotless, unlike the rest of the house. No dust, no debris, no mold, nothing. The bed looked freshly made. The curtains looked clean. The carpet appeared recently vacuumed, as though someone maintained this single room while the rest of the house decayed around it. Nathan's pulse quickened slightly. He checked the closet, empty. Checked beneath the bed, nothing. Then he noticed something sitting on the nightstand. A photograph. Face down. Nathan picked it up. The image showed a family standing outside the house. Mother, father, 2 children. But someone had scratched out every face, every single one. Deep cuts carved directly into the photograph, except for one face, a tall figure standing in the upstairs window behind them. That face remained untouched. Nathan stared. The figure wasn't part of the family, and it wasn't supposed to be there. That night, he couldn't stop thinking about it, especially the untouched room and the figure in the photograph. Something felt wrong, so wrong that he returned the next day, alone. That decision still haunts him. When he arrived, the front door was closed. He knew it had been open yesterday, he was certain, yet now it stood shut. Nathan felt uneasy, but entered anyway. Inside, the chair had moved. Yesterday it faced the stairs. Now it faced the front door, directly toward him. Nathan's stomach tightened. Someone had been inside. They had to be. He searched every room. Nothing. No footprints. No signs of entry. No evidence of another person. Then he heard it. A sound upstairs. Footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. One step. Pause. Another step. Nathan called out. Hello? Silence. Then another footstep, directly above him. He climbed the stairs. Heart pounding now. The bedroom door stood open, exactly as before. The room remained spotless. But something had changed. The photograph was gone. Nathan searched everywhere: nightstand, closet, drawers, nothing. Then he heard a sound behind him, a whisper, very close. "Don't stay after dark." Nathan spun around. Nobody. The room was empty, but the voice had been real. He knew it. Absolutely knew it. Then his flashlight died. Darkness swallowed the room instantly. Nathan cursed and hit the flashlight. Nothing. Then he noticed movement near the window. A silhouette, standing outside, 3 stories above the ground. Impossible. No ladder, no balcony, nothing. Just a dark figure staring through the glass, motionless, watching. Nathan couldn't move. The figure slowly raised one hand and tapped on the window 3 times. Knock, 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 then disappeared. Nathan ran. He left everything behind: clipboard, equipment, flashlight, everything. He never returned. Weeks later, demolition crews finally arrived. The house was torn down, but during excavation, workers discovered a hidden room beneath the foundation. Inside, they found dozens of photographs, hundreds according to reports. Every photo showed people standing outside the house: families, visitors, inspectors, hunters, trespassers, and in every single photograph, the same tall figure appeared somewhere in the background, watching, waiting, unchanged, no matter the year, no matter the decade, and nobody could identify who or what it was. If a private investigator ever tells you a case feels wrong before they can explain why, listen to them, because sometimes people don't disappear. Sometimes something else takes their place. In 2018, a private investigator from Oregon named Eric Dawson received what seemed like a routine missing person case. The client was a man named Victor Hayes, 46 years old, successful accountant, no criminal record, no history of violence, no signs of mental illness, just a worried husband, or at least, that's how he appeared. Victor arrived at Eric's office on a rainy Tuesday morning. He looked exhausted, eyes bloodshot, hands shaking slightly, like he hadn't slept in days. "My wife disappeared 3 weeks ago," he said. "Police aren't helping." Eric nodded. "Tell me everything." Victor slid a photograph across the desk. A woman in her early 30s, dark hair, friendly smile. Her name was Rebecca. According to Victor, she had simply vanished. No note, no phone calls, no activity on her bank account, nothing. One day she was there, the next day, gone. Eric accepted the case. At first, everything seemed ordinary. He interviewed neighbors, co-workers, friends, family members. Nobody knew anything. Nobody had seen Rebecca after the night she disappeared. The strange part came during the 3rd interview. Rebecca's neighbor kept glancing nervously toward the house next door, Victor's house. Finally, she whispered. Something came back. Eric frowned. What? The woman immediately shook her head. Forget it. That answer bothered Eric, so he returned to Victor's house alone later that night. The property sat at the end of a quiet suburban street. Everything looked normal, perfectly normal. The lights were on, the lawn was maintained, the curtains drawn. Nothing unusual. Yet Eric couldn't shake the feeling that something felt off. At approximately 11:40 p.m., he noticed movement upstairs. A silhouette standing behind one of the bedroom curtains, watching the street, watching him. The figure remained completely still for nearly 10 minutes, then slowly disappeared. The next morning, Eric asked Victor about it. Victor smiled. "My daughter." Eric froze. Rebecca and Victor didn't have children. He had confirmed that already. "Your daughter?" Victor's smile remained unchanged. "Yeah, she came back too." Something about the answer made Eric uncomfortable. Not because it didn't make sense, because Victor seemed completely serious. That night, Eric parked across from the house, hidden, waiting. At exactly 2:13 a.m., the front door opened. Rebecca walked outside. Eric nearly dropped his camera. It was definitely her, the same woman from the photograph. Same face, same hair, same build, except something wasn't right. Her movements looked unnatural, jerky, delayed. like she was copying how a person walks, rather than actually walking. She crossed the yard, stopped in the middle of the street, then slowly turned her head toward Eric's vehicle. There was no way she could see him. The windows were tinted, the street was dark, and yet she stared directly at him, then smiled. Eric later described that smile as the most terrifying thing he'd ever seen. Not because it was wide, not because it looked evil, because it looked practiced. Like someone had learned what a smile should look like without understanding why humans do it. Then Rebecca walked back inside. The following day, Eric confronted Victor. "Your wife isn't missing." Victor looked confused, then strangely relieved. "Oh," he nodded slowly. "You found her." Eric stared. "What do you mean?" Victor's expression immediately changed. The relief disappeared, and for the first time, he looked genuinely frightened. "No," Victor whispered. "No, no." He stood suddenly. "You saw her?" Eric nodded. Victor looked like he might vomit. Then he whispered something Eric never forgot. "That's not my wife." Silence filled the room. Victor's hands trembled violently. "The real Rebecca disappeared 3 weeks ago." His voice cracked. Whatever came back 2 days later. Eric felt cold, very cold. Victor continued. "It sleeps in our bedroom. It wears her clothes. It knows things only Rebecca knew. It sounds exactly like her." He looked toward the window, but sometimes it forgets. Eric asked what he meant. Victor swallowed hard. "Sometimes I wake up at night, and it's standing beside the bed, watching me sleep." The investigation ended 3 days later, because Eric disappeared. His car was found abandoned near a forest preserve. Wallet, phone, keys, everything remained inside. The only thing missing was Eric. Police never found him, but according to Victor, something strange happened the night after Eric vanished. At approximately 2:13 a.m., someone knocked on the front door. Victor opened it. Standing there was Eric Dawson, smiling, and according to Victor, the smile looked exactly like Rebecca's. The practiced smile. The smile that didn't belong to a human being. And then Eric said, "She said you'd let me in." Victor never opened the door, and he moved away less than a week later. To this day, nobody knows what happened to Rebecca or Eric, but every few years, someone reports seeing them together, standing outside houses late at night, smiling, watching, waiting.